Welcome to Seattle College's international programs and our show Conversations With, where we talk to people that help you understand how you too can be an international student in the United States and why Seattle Colleges should be your first choice. We'll talk to students and staff and agents and government folks, all kinds of people about what you can expect when you're getting ready to apply or travel here, what you'll experience while you're with us, and how it can all lead to an amazing life. Don't forget to check out the Seattle College's International Programs website at intl.seattlecolleges.edu, where you can find a treasure trove of information about the school, the programs here, and best of all, fill out and submit your application. Again, that's intl.seattlecolleges.edu. Hey everybody, welcome back to Conversations With. We're here at Seattle Pacific University, here in the great city of Seattle, and I'm with Isaiah. Welcome, hello. Isaiah.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on the show and the podcast.
Well, thank you for having me on your campus.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome.
It's a beautiful day.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Weather's always like this in Seattle, by the way, so it's a great
It usually is. It's pretty nice here.
Yeah, I would say so.
I know everybody always talks about how much it rains, but I don't think it rains all that much.
Oh, no, I don't think not nearly as much as people complain about.
It's an exaggeration.
Yeah.
So this is my first time on campus. I got to be honest, I'm not very familiar with your school. I'm from Oregon originally. Mm-hmm. And when I was thinking about going to school, I hadn't even heard of SPU. SPU is Seattle Pacific University, for those who don't know. But tell us, first of all, tell us how you came to be here and tell us why, what SPU is and why someone should even bother considering it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I grew up around this area, up around 40 minutes north of Seattle, up in the Mill Creek area. That's where I was raised, so kind of seemed like a no-brainer to kind of work around this area. Always kind of wanted to. I was really attracted to this job in like international admissions because I've spent some time living abroad too. Yeah. So then kind of seemed like a nice fit for sort of that path I was going towards, and for sure. Really enjoying it so far. But ended up here at beautiful SPU. I would say, a couple key things to know about us. We are a private Christian university up here in the Queen Anne neighborhood of Seattle. Nice. About 15-minute drive or so north of the Space Needle, so still pretty close to that downtown area. We're a bit of a smaller school, so it gives that like community sort of feel to it. Right. Also, the smaller class sizes can be really nice too for those looking for like kind of more individual attention too. For sure. Yeah, so those are some of the kind of key things about us. Right. So when I think private schools, I think, oh my gosh, the price tag's going to be super huge. And one of the first things that most of my students ask us when they're thinking about coming to Seattle Colleges is, well, how much does it cost? So let's just get right to that. I mean, we might as well. To it. Sure. So let's talk about tuition, and then let's talk about ways they can offset the cost of tuition, maybe through scholarships, transfer scholarships, or. Yeah, absolutely. As a private college, we are able to kind of have all the same tuition amounts. So a lot of times, students will ask like, well, in-state, out-of-state, international students, but at SPU we do just charge flat amount for each student. Nice. For one academic year right now, the total tuition is just about $37,365. That's okay. But the thing is that most students will never end up actually paying that amount. Basically the virtue of the fact that we do offer a lot of scholarships on admission. Great. So I'd say like the most common one that we do offer are merit-based scholarships. So basically how those work is they'll just take a look at whatever your GPA is, and then within a certain range, wherever it lands in that scaffold, we'll automatically award a yearly amount. So nice. For first year students, that's anywhere between $10,000 per year to $18,000 per year. Well, that's great. That really brings down the cost. Yeah, right. Transfer students too, we have it available at the lowest end, $7,500 per year, up to $14,000 per year. Nice. That per year part, you don't just get it once; you'll keep getting it each year. Do they have to? And you said that it's automatic. They don't have to apply. Right. There's no separate application for it. just as soon as you send in your application and transcripts, we'll just look at the GPA and then automatically we'll grant that to you.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a really nice way to help to bring down a lot of those costs. And
that's really great.
I'd say the vast majority of students end up receiving a scholarship of some kind.
Sure. So that's tuition, right? That covers tuition and fees, or is fees separate?
That would include the tuition and the fees.
And the fees.
Yeah.
Okay, so then they really only have to worry about food and housing?
Yeah, so if they do stay on campus, then we have some meal plans as well, some on-campus living options too.
Well, let's talk about those.
Sure.
Housing is always big on people's minds.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So here at SPU, we have 2 different residence halls for first-year students. And then we also have one that is specifically for transfer students too, or those who are beyond their second year here at SPU. So that kind of really helps to bring like a more sense of community on the campus. It's really fun events that go on in the residence halls. Each one is decorated for different themes that are chosen by each floor, so it can be really fun to kind of get to meet people that way.
For sure.
Yeah. For transfer students too, we also offer campus apartments too. So there are apartments that are located nearby campus that are operated by SPU. So
they apply through SPU for those apartments.
Right. So they would fill out a housing application with SPU and they can get access to those apartments. And they're really close to campus and they offer kind of more, individualistic kind of things if you want to be more independent.
So it has a kitchen.
Yep.
The whole, okay.
Yeah, kind of all that. So it's nice if you're kind of more used to more independent style living.
Right.
But I definitely recommend signing up fast for those because they're
fill up.
Sought after. Yeah.
Otherwise, so if you end up living in the dorms, they have a meal plan, you said. So they just tack that onto the price of the tuition and then you just go in with like a card or something? I mean, how does that work?
Right, yeah. So pretty much when you are living on campus, there is a meal plan that is required to purchase kind of alongside of that as part of the total fees there.
Sure.
And basically the way it works is that depending on what level of the meal plan you order, you can get anywhere between 100 to 200, we call it swipes, on your student card.
Okay.
And that swipe will let you get entrance into our dining hall, which is actually just across from us over there.
Nice.
But it's a pretty large dining hall. It's a buffet style, so there's rotating food that's different every day. So
cool.
Sometimes we have like guest chefs that come over too and have like special cuisines from around the world.
So let's say you're from somewhere and you're a vegetarian. Is it a big deal?
Oh, we have options, yeah, absolutely, for any dietary restrictions, vegan, vegetarian. So yeah, lots of different options for sure.
Can you eat there as a staff member?
Oh, we can. We have to still we have to get our own kind of plans. I really wish it was just free.
Right?
Free
Wouldn't that be great?
That would be incredible.
But that's unreal.
Yeah. But really good quality too. Lots of people, sometimes on campus things get a bad rap, but
sure.
I
personally love eating on campuses.
Oh, yeah.
I've been to some places, like I was just at the U of O and they had a great facility for food. Yeah, it's really nice.
For sure.
So you said that it's a smaller university. Tell us how many students total, domestic and international.
Yep, so the total undergraduate is just about 2,400, I think a little bit above that.
It's bigger than I thought.
Yeah, and then 6% of those students are international students too.
Okay.
I believe we also have 650 or so, maybe 700 graduate students too. So kind of the full picture there. Yeah, international students are about 6%. I believe there's represented about 49 different countries among the international student population. So kind of from a wide area too. Yeah, so definitely, as you mentioned, kind of a smaller size of the school, but yeah, I tend to think of it more as kind of a benefit to the academic side and the community side as well.
Sure.
Kind of get more time in the classroom directly talking with your professors.
Exactly.
Being in a room of 120 people, So,
right.
Average faculty staff ratio is, I think, 12 to 1. So.
Wow, that's really great.
Yeah.
I think that's better than what we have. One of our big selling points, if you want to call it that, for Seattle colleges is the smaller class sizes. You get to interact with your professors. Actually, they know who you are.
Yep.
Which is really nice. You did not go to SPU. You told me before we started rolling, you're a Husky. You went to the University of Washington.
Yep, that's right.
So now that you've been on both a really large campus and a really small campus, what do you think is the major benefit? Is it the small class sizes, or is there something else that you saw that was really appealing?
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, UW is definitely one of the biggest colleges here. Yeah, for sure. So it's massive campus. I'd say, yeah, having gone to a school that large and then working at a school that's much smaller, I think definitely the smaller class size is a great benefit. But I really like the sense of community that's created too.
Yeah, you talk about that.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to walk around and then not bump into someone that you know, like either teacher or one of your friends from some class you had or things like that. So I think it's really nice to be able to kind of walk around and feel like you know people that are on the campus, but not something I always experienced when I was at UW. So, yeah, those can be some really nice things, I think, about going to a smaller school.
So just before we started the interview, I was walking around the campus. Beautiful little campus, by the way. I was really surprised. And it just is very quiet. There's not a lot of people. I mean, I know it's break, but not people walking in off the street. You know, Seattle colleges, we're at either Capitol Hill or North or South. So we get, it's kind of more into the community where people that aren't going to school are around, which isn't a big deal. But here it's a little more controlled, it seems like. That's kind of a nice thing.
Yeah.
So people can just kind of work within their own community.
Yeah, Queen Anne, this neighborhood that we're in is definitely more residential. So that kind of makes it's kind of like the best of both worlds. You kind of get to be on a campus a little safe. It's in a more quiet area, but you still get pretty close access to downtown when you need to get there. So yeah, I think it's kind of nice to be in the specific spot we are.
You had said that we're really close to the Space Needle. Like, is it within walking distance? How far?
You certainly could walk through it. It just depends how long.
A long walk?
Walking.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I haven't done the walk myself. I'd say it'd take probably about 25, 30
Well, that's
minutes.
not too bad.
No, it's
especially on a day like this.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be a lovely walk on a nice day.
But I got here on the bus. The buses in Seattle are great.
Yeah.
The 31 just came, dropped me off right in front of the campus. Is that the main area to catch buses? Is just right here in front?
That's usually where I'll see people taking the bus down there. I think it's 3rd Avenue. That's common where you'll catch it, and that's the most like direct way to get into downtown. I think that's probably the easiest way to also, if you want to go north or any other area too.
Right.
I'd say it's usually the most common area.
Okay. Well, it's a great little school, but what's it famous for, like program-wise? You know, I'm guessing you have all the major usual suspects of classes, English majors, history majors, those kinds of things. But what are you guys most well known for?
I think some of the biggest ones that we're most well known for would be nursing for sure.
Oh.
That's one of our kind of most competitive programs and one that kind of has the most name recognition behind it too.
Right.
Business administration too is one that's pretty well regarded around here as well. That one also, those kind of tend to be the most competitive majors. Aside from that, most majors are pretty accessible. Computer science too, of course, big in Seattle area. Yeah, definitely for sure. Those are kind of the top 3 that I usually hear most questions about, especially from international students. It's probably the biggest ones.
Right. So we have a lot of students that are interested in nursing before they even come to Seattle colleges. So if they want to transfer, let's say they do their first 2 years and then they want to transfer her to get into nursing. Is that possible?
Yeah, definitely.
It is.
It is possible.
Okay.
There are definitely a lot of things to keep in mind for students who want to transfer into nursing. Yeah, definitely. I'd say that's the one I get a lot of questions about.
I'm sure.
Yeah, because the process can be a little confusing sometimes.
We don't want them to waste time and money at Seattle College. We want them to come to get their basics out of the way.
Right.
But we want to set them up for success. So what's the best way?
Yeah, so definitely the main things that students want to keep in mind if they want to transfer into nursing. There is a list of 9 total prerequisites to complete.
Okay.
When students apply, they need to have at least finished 4 of them, so they don't have to have them all done when they send in the application. Right. But they do have to be on track to complete them all by the time. And that's things like statistics, biology, lifetime psychology.
Right.
Kind of a basic list there.
Sure.
And I think the key thing, though, one of the key things that makes it competitive is that they're looking for an average GPA in those courses of 3.5.
Oh, that's really good to know.
Yes.
That's pretty high GPA.
For sure, yeah. So it's definitely a little trickier to get into as a transfer student, but I would say not impossible, because this upcoming winter cohort, too, we have 3 international transfer students who got accepted into the cohort. So
cool.
Yeah, each size of the cohort is about 15, so getting 3
Oh, it's a small cohort
for sure, yeah. They only run cohorts that accept in fall and winter. And
that's good to know.
Yep, and there's one application period to get into that major specifically.
So when is that application period?
That would open up in December or November 15th and then close on January 15th.
Okay.
And that's for the next academics year, fall and winter quarter.
So we're just finishing that window now.
It's right now, yep. So now is really the time to apply if any students want to apply for that.
Well, by the time you guys hear this podcast, we'll probably be past that. So maybe some of you first years that are interested in nursing be thinking about it for the next. And you can always contact Isaiah.
That's right.
Get more information. That way you've made all the windows. So you guys on a quarter system or semester system?
Yeah, we're on the quarter system.
Okay, so same as us.
Yep.
Okay, that's great. So transferring classes that you've taken at Seattle colleges, not too big a deal?
No, I wouldn't say it's too difficult, especially because, they're so close, a pretty strong relationship there. So most of those courses are going to be available. Something else we have, which maybe we'll get into, called the DTA as well. So that's also a special kind of associate's degree that's offered by a lot of colleges in the Washington area.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah, and those who get that special DTA, direct transfer agreement, associate's degree, will automatically transfer in with at least 90 credits.
There you go.
Yeah,
nice.
And then they'll also have all the general education requirements taken care of. So
right. So they can get right into the nitty gritty of their other stuff.
Exactly. So it's really nice if you just want to get started right away, hit the ground running with your actual major of study and not spend too much time on like those general education. So that's a pretty nice benefit for sure.
So if a student wants to come to Seattle colleges first, knock out their first 2 years, then transfer here, at what point do you recommend them contacting you? Like when they first get here, or like don't worry about it until you're done with your first year, or maybe even 6 quarters or whatever? When's the best time to talk to you?
Well, it is never too early to
it's
plan
never too
ahead,
early.
for sure. Definitely for those, I would say if they've already completed 1 year, that's probably usually the good time to start thinking about where you want to head to for the next kind of completing it.
Sure.
Also to make sure that you're staying on track if you want to end up doing something like the DTA, or if you have a specific major you're hoping to get into. Not all majors, in fact, most majors don't have prerequisites they require for those who are transferring.
That's good to know.
But some do. So business administration, nursing. So if you are thinking of those, it's good to get in touch to make sure you're on track, definitely, by the time you're ready to transfer in.
And I took the bus from Capitol Hill. I was at Seattle Central's campus. It took me 33 minutes to get here. So not too long. Can they just come by and see you in person, or do they need to email you? Or
Oh, yeah, we'll accept drop-in appointments for sure. Yeah, I'm on campus myself on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So those would be great times for anyone who just wants to kind of show up. But we do also have an appointment system on our website too, so happy to take any appointments ahead of time if there's any specific things they want to go over. I also offer virtual appointments too, so if anyone's kind of all over the world and just wants to kind of hop on Zoom, definitely happy to do that too.
I talk to a lot of international students, and they kind of think they know where they want to transfer, but they haven't made a final decision. So since you're so close, I recommend, hey, come down, walk around the campus, talk to some students. It's really convenient how close you are.
I would also say, to kind of add on to that, we do have a scholarship for those who have an in-person visit.
What?
Yeah, so we'll actually give you a $1,000 scholarship if you
come on down.
Think about it for any in-person visits. So
so that's amazing.
Yeah, so you'll have to make sure that you register online ahead of time, just so that you're in our system, so that we can know that you were here and then be able to tack on that scholarship. So it's kind of paying you to come visit us and
that's amazing.
And see the campus.
It's so convenient. Yeah, so our listeners probably want to know, where is your website? So can you tell people where to find you?
Absolutely. That's spu.edu.
spu.edu. Very good. And is there a special section just for international students, or they'll see everything in that spot?
I believe just spu.edu/international might link it directly, but it will be available there on the main page and the admissions. You should be able to find our tab there for international.
Cool. Okay, so when I got here, I saw some volleyball players walking around. They were carrying their bags. So clearly they were going to practice, or they had a game or something. I get a lot of international students that come to Seattle colleges because we don't offer athletics. But could they transfer here and then get involved with athletics?
Yeah, so there are some opportunities there for different athletics on campus. So for men, we have soccer, basketball, cross country, and track and field.
Right.
But then for women, we actually have a couple more options too. So
really?
Yeah.
Like what else?
So in addition to just having the same as the men's side too, for basketball, soccer, track and field, cross country, we also have a volleyball team. So
there you go.
But also a women's rowing team as well.
That's cool.
Yeah, really convenient because we're right by the canal too.
Yeah,
so that's also some pretty interesting little athletic options. Maybe if you wouldn't
Absolutely.
expect. Yeah.
Well, I especially get these questions like when I'm in Central and South America. A lot of students have asked about playing soccer.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the chances of walking on and playing is, but if you're really good, you could come get your start at Seattle colleges, play club sports, and then transfer in maybe?
It sounds like it'd be reasonable enough. I might defer to the coaches in their decisions.
But they can contact those guys?
Absolutely, yeah. We're happy to put them in contact too if they want to email our general inbox too.
Right. Well, that's really cool. Let's talk about support services for international students. I know what we have at Seattle Colleges is we have an international programs office, and they can come in and get a lot of different services. What do you guys offer here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so for specifically international students, we do have a Department for International Student Services.
Okay.
So they're like a great resource for any questions about the visa regulations and working on campus and maybe getting authorization to work off campus. Any students want to do OPT or CPT.
Right.
Those are the kinds of things you'd want to also discuss with them too. And they kind of go over things like, what do I do for health insurance here in the USA, or just kind of general life things too for that.
Right.
But yeah, we have a lot of different ways to help support students who are here on campus. A lot of them also are involved with helping you get your first job out of college once you actually graduate. That can be something that a lot of students kind of stress about, is like, well, okay, once I get the degree, how do I get the job?
Then what?
Yeah, that's the tricky part. So we do offer a lot of things on campus to help support that. We have something called the Center for Career and Calling.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, so for students who are still thinking about their major or what exactly they want to do, they can help guide you through it or put you in touch with a mentor, someone who is already in that field.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, that's a really great program, actually. That I think not enough students take advantage of that, but it's really nice to be able to kind of be put in contact with someone who is in the field that you're interested in.
And are these alumni, or are they just all sorts of people?
I think in most cases they are alumni, but I don't think it's required to necessarily be an alumni to participate in it.
Right.
But yeah, that's just kind of one of the other things that kind of can help you get ready for that first job. There's also resume writing tips and course classes for that. A lot of different ways, kind of networking opportunities. So lots of different options.
So if a student does their computer science, their first 2 years of computer science at Seattle Colleges, transfers over here to knock out the last 2 years, then they want to do OPT, for instance. Do you guys have like relationships with certain companies within the Seattle area? Yeah,
so we do have a lot of relationships with a lot of different companies here in Seattle, and Seattle's a great spot, definitely.
It's a great spot, yeah.
If you want to be working kind of in that more computer science or tech sort of field, definitely a great spot to be. A lot of times internships are a required part of a lot of different majors, so there's a lot of different chances for that too. So they do the internship and they get credit for the internship too? If it's part of completing a class, a degree, then that'll be eligible for CPT, and you'll also be able to get credit for that too. Very cool. Yeah. Huh. And business, then, we have a great business environment. Companies like Starbucks, Boeing, and you were saying one of your top 3 is business, or business administration. So you can help get them connected with those companies as well? Yeah. So we do have a lot of different companies. We do partnerships here in Seattle, and I believe it's either in the junior or the senior year, there's a requirement to be completing an internship. So they're happy to be able to help you get in contact with them. They're not just going to leave you to your own devices and say good luck finding an internship around. Sure. Yeah, for sure. But in business administration specifically too, we have a lot of different concentrations within that program. So there's things like if you want to go more specifically into international business or finance or management, you can kind of specialize in one of those areas. You'll still be able to have that business administration on your diploma, but the coursework that you'll complete will be more specific to the area that you're interested in. So you can kind of hone in on one or more of those areas. So yeah, there's 9 different options there. So kind of a lot to choose from. Yeah.
And if they want to continue on, let's say they just love it here and they're like, I want to stay in Seattle. I want to work on, say, my MBA. Do they get a leg up? Like, do they have some sort of advantage if they get their bachelor's degree here and then they apply to your graduate school? Or is there any advantage, in other words, to you get special consideration?
Right. Definitely would help move the process much faster because as a student here on campus too, you might have those connections on campus in order to kind of make it a little bit quicker to be able to get those kind of decisions for you.
Okay.
Definitely will consider equally anyone who wants to study in the graduate programs for sure. But yeah, it definitely helps also to be already used to the SPU campus, the way it works, kind of like that. So definitely might be a good option. You
get to know everybody. That's the cool thing about it.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
The people that are running the MBA program are probably similar faculty and staff that are running some of the classes at the undergraduate level.
I would say for the most part. I myself generally work with undergraduate on the undergraduate side. We do have a separate kind of department there for international graduate students too. So definitely always happy to put students in contact.
Of course,
for sure with that. And I always be like, oh, tell them I sent you.
Sure.
And they'll get to you. Yeah.
Are you, so in your international department, how many people like you are in there?
So for undergraduate, it is mostly just me.
Yeah.
So I get to wear a lot of different hats for sure.
So talk to Isaiah. He's the only guy.
Yes. We do have a lovely student assistant too, who does help out. She is an international student herself as well.
Perfect.
So, I guess that also brings up lots of different job opportunities on campus.
Yeah, let's talk about, in addition to the scholarships, people are always looking to work on campus because it helps offset their costs. So where can they work on campus?
Yeah, we have a ton of different options for students getting jobs on campus. So, of course, there's the usual ones like food services, barista, but, it kind of goes a lot deeper than that. A lot of different departments are always looking for student workers. Yeah. Our admissions department has student workers at the front desk and the calling, and then also in the enrollment management department, like processing transcripts, working with the database kind of behind the scenes. So, and then, my own assistant in the international department also is an international student. So definitely there's a lot of different options there. Something really nice about being in Seattle too is we have a really high minimum wage.
That's true.
So that definitely helps out.
Actually, I gotta be honest, I'm blown away at how much these student workers are. Like when I went to university, it was like $4 an hour or some ridiculous thing. Now it's like 18 plus an hour.
Yeah, now it's $18.69 per hour, and it's going to go up again next year. So,
yeah. So that's crazy.
So that's a nice other little benefit there about being in Seattle.
Yeah, I did the math. I think if you work like at Seattle colleges, I think they can work up to 16 hours a week, something maybe 20 in some cases. But yeah, it's like $1,300 a month.
Right. Yeah.
That adds up quite a bit. That helps pay for housing, tuition, go to see a movie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What do most of the students do around the campus for like clubs, activities? I'm guessing there's quite a bit of that kind of stuff. What's some of the most popular stuff you have?
Yeah, there's a lot of different clubs on campus. There's some kind of like off the wall ones too. There's like a silent disco club.
What?
I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
No.
Oh, okay. You'll usually wear these headphones and you can tune into certain frequencies. And so everyone's kind of listening to a different frequency and like getting it on. And then,
what?
But if you don't have the headphones on, it just looks like a quiet room of people just kind of grooving out. And
that is wild.
Yeah, so there's opportunities for that on our campus.
Silent disco. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, I just saw it on our website the other day. I was like, what even is that? But now I kind of want to join it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. But there's a lot of other options too. There's like political action clubs. There's a lot of clubs that are getting involved with the community here in Seattle, doing those volunteer opportunities. International students too. We have a lot of international student clubs. One that's just open to all international students, which is a great place to kind of start if you want to, not sure how to get involved, but you just kind of want to get started as an international student.
Sure.
Good to meet people in a similar situation, but there's also student unions for different countries or parts of the world too. Okay. African Student Union.
Right.
Yeah. So there's a Vietnamese Student Association, Pacific Islander Association. There's kind of a lot of different options for sure.
Cool. Well, that brings up, making friends. A lot of international students come here. They don't know anybody, so they want to make friends quickly. Do you guys, I know we do at Seattle Colleges every quarter when we start, we have an orientation. Do you guys have something similar to that?
Yes, yeah. So we have orientations for our fall, winter, and spring quarters.
Yeah.
We admit in all the three of those.
Okay.
Typically not in the summer quarter, but definitely the fall is the really big one.
Right.
So that one will come along with we do have an international student orientation that takes place before the usual one. And we kind of just go through, how health insurance works, the different rules for your visa, any kind of questions that an incoming student might have regarding just specific things pertinent to them as an international student. So we cover that. Our international students department will put that on each quarter, and then usually I'll also be there as well. So that's usually when students can kind of get used to what it'd be like and things they need to know.
And that includes the transfer students. So if you're coming from Seattle colleges, you'll need to come to this orientation.
Yep. Yeah, that one's
a great idea.
Pretty required, so I would definitely recommend. Yeah.
Sure. Well, they might think, I know about visas and stuff. I don't need to be in it. But it's a good idea to do another orientation.
Yeah. So. If anything, as you mentioned, just to meet other students who are starting at SPU for the first time, that's definitely always a good way to kind of meet new people, friends who you might be seeing around campus for sure.
For sure. Well, we are the Seattle Central Tigers, the South Seattle Sea Otters, North Seattle Tree Frogs. I don't know what your guys' mascot is here.
Yeah, so ours is, we're the Falcons. SPU.
SPU Falcons.
Yes, and our mascot is Talon the Falcon.
So there you go.
You might get to see him if you attend one of the games.
Come down and see a game.
Come and see. So I think it's nice. We got a little bit of a bird theme going on in Seattle. Seahawks, Falcons, so
That's right. So if you want to go see a game as a student, is there a cost involved, or are students free to be a spectator?
If you're a student, there is a discounted cost for it for sure, and I think it's for a staff member as well. So I should probably be taking more advantage of that. I know I probably should. Right. Yeah, we have our sports facility that's just across the road there.
It's nice, I got to say. If you come down and check it out, it's really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
And the track, anybody can just go and run on the track for fitness?
If you're a student,
they're
not
that's
for anyone, but
I
do believe it is open as part of the facilities there. I might need to check on that though for sure.
Rec center?
Oh, yes.
You guys have a rec center? Okay.
Yes, we do. And it has like a full gym in there as well. It's available for students.
Cool.
For staff, it's $6 if you want to be. So I'm not sure if it's free.
That's it?
If it's
$6?
Yeah. So I should probably be doing that as well.
For sure. Take advantage of that. That's awesome. Wow. All right. Cool. Well, we're getting to the end of the pod. It goes so fast. I have a zillion questions, but I can't keep you all day. But let's ask, what is the one piece of advice you'd like to make sure that anyone's listening, especially maybe as it goes for transfer students? Because, we're really talking about, these are people that are starting at a community college like ours, and then they're coming to Seattle Pacific. So what's the question you hear most often and that you want to make sure people are aware of? What would the advice be that you have?
Yeah, definitely. I think planning ahead is for sure really helpful. If you're thinking about transferring from one of the Seattle colleges or just anywhere around the area into SPU, I would consider the DTA. That's another kind of big thing. Not only the scholarship, but just makes your life a lot easier once you do that transfer.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So especially for students who are worried about finishing the degree within a certain time frame, definitely that's going to help give you a leg up for sure on that. Those are probably the key things I'd keep in mind, and also just to enjoy the city of Seattle. Lots to love around here. So if you don't want to, not quite ready to leave, then we might be a perfect spot.
I mean, if you want to be in Seattle, there's only really a few choices. Everything else is kind of outside the city. So there's SPU, Seattle University, University of Washington, and that's pretty much it, isn't it?
Yeah, those are some of the big ones that are actually around here in this downtown area. So definitely if you're thinking about this area and sounds interesting to be in a kind of smaller one.
Maybe DigiPen. I forget about the kind of the specialty schools.
Are they around?
I think they're
Seattle?
downtown somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah. But I've never been there, and I don't really. I know they're kind of specialized.
Right. So. Yeah. I think so too. But yeah. So we are one of the 4-year colleges here. So if you're looking for a bachelor's degree,
Right. Yeah, speaking of DigiPen or the arts, do you guys have an arts program here? Like theater, music, that kind of stuff?
Oh, yeah. So we definitely have degrees for music. Actually, we also have one for music therapy too, which is
That's cool.
It's the first and the only one that's in Washington State.
What?
Yeah, so
There you go, music therapy.
So if you're looking for music therapy,
wow, that's really great.
The only option, but the best option, I would say.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so we just had a student start that last quarter, international students. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, this is really great so there's definitely options for that as well.
There you go. Yeah, very nice. Well, we sometimes have students that are interested in like dance or theater, and we do offer arts, for the associate's degree, but I'm not really sure where they go after they come to us. I don't know where their pathways take them. It's good to know you guys have a way. So if you want to do a pathway where you start with us and then come to SPU to do your junior and senior year in the arts, it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. I think planning for just about anything in life is a really good idea.
Yeah.
But for your education, definitely do your research. Explore while you're in the city. Come down to the campus. Talk to them in person. But if you don't come down and talk to them in person, we, of course, have transfer advisors at Seattle colleges. You can talk to them. They'll connect you guys, at least via email. And then he does come to the transfer fairs at Seattle colleges. So if you don't have the opportunity to come down here, you can always catch them in the fall. Is there a spring one as well?
I think it's just in the fall and the winter.
Oh, in the winter.
I think those are the main two. Yeah. So definitely come and say hello if you see me.
So if you missed the fall one, which has already passed, check it out. Look for the announcements for winter, because then you come down and talk in person. And honestly, we'd like to see a lot more students at those transfer fairs. It's a really great opportunity.
Yeah, definitely.
The last few have been a little quiet. So I'm like, come on, guys.
Around lunchtime, it definitely picks up. There's lots of
yes, that's true. To get out of class or whatever.
Yeah,
that's great. Well, we want to make sure you have lots of people to talk to, and I think it's a great place to consider. You get a lot of options in the Northwest part of the United States, and staying in Seattle, this is a really good option. So. So thankful for your time today.
Yeah.
It was really good to come and meet you and see the campus myself.
Yeah, thanks for coming
really
down.
Cool.
I'm an avid listener of podcasts, but I never got to be on one, so this is pretty fun for me too.
Right on. Yeah, and if you get any, if you can think of Seattle College students that have transferred here, let them know that I'd love to talk to them again. Because, we want to get the alumni experience too, which is another way for Seattle College people to connect to SPU. So if you have any alumni you want to send my way that did go to Seattle colleges, we'd love to see them. We try to keep in touch with them, but some of them, slip away and we don't know where'd they go.
I think we got a couple applications rolling in from some of the Seattle colleges, so
well, there you
I'll
go.
keep my eyes out.
Keep me informed. That'd be great.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks again so much. Check out SPU, guys. What's the web address one more time before we go?
It's spu.edu.
There you go. Super simple. All right. Have a great holiday. This will be the last time probably I see you for Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you as well.
Merry Christmas. See you guys. Conversations With is painstakingly crafted for you by the Seattle College's International Programs Department and supported by the lovely folks here on our campus. This show is produced and edited by me, Evan Franulovich. We welcome your emails and questions about coming to Seattle Colleges. Please reach out to us via our website, or just give us a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts, as this helps others discover the show. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or YouTube at Seattle Colleges INTL. That's Seattle Colleges INTL. And be sure to check out all of the shows here on Conversations With. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.